Hi Jim, it's a disappointing 1-0 defeat at home to Queen of the South here at Caplo today. Can I get your thoughts on the resulting performance, please?
Well, I think obviously we know that results are vital at any stage of the season, but particularly at the stage of the season. So we're a bit disappointed about that. But I think even more about the performance. The performance was nowhere near good enough at this stage of the season. We just looked flat from pretty much the start of the game. There was no real energy or spark about us, and I think without Queen of South being, hugely better than us, I think they were still marginally, and that was enough to get them the 1-0 victory. And although we huffed and puffed a little bit towards the end of the game, we were never really sharp enough to take something from the game. But just really disappointed because it's so unlike us. The one thing, as I've said many times, is that we can't complain about is the commitment, the desire, the energy of the team. But today there just didn't seem to be that energy. Obviously it's baffled us and we're not quite sure at this stage why. But we did try and freshen up a little bit over the last few games. I think we've changed 3 and 4 players. And obviously the elements of that was okay. But other elements was a way off the mark.
You mentioned the changes, it's 5 changes today. Was that to do with just freshening things up?
Yeah, as I said before, we've had a long season and every game is ultra competitive, as we've mentioned, and we played Livingston last Saturday and obviously the Morton going right to the wire to get the victory. And then we changed it around again because obviously I look at the players at training, see who looks a little bit leggy and stuff like that, and 1 or 2 of them did. But also we've got the opposition to contend with, and we felt that going with the players today. But listen, not all those players. There was one risk, if you want to call it that. We played Mark Russell in midfield today, who's not a natural midfield player. We understand that. But Mark, we've tried it training a couple of times in bounce games, and he's looked very comfortable there. He's got really good ability. So I'm certainly not going to criticise Mark for that. He was maybe asked to play in an unfamiliar role, but everyone else has been playing pretty regularly. I don't think we can make excuses. We didn't do our job well enough, and as a result, we lost the match.
You mentioned the performance not being good enough today. I mean, always every performance matters, but today it's pivotal. Does that add to the disappointment when it is so meaningful?
Yeah, because of the stage of the season it's at, and because after winning in the last minute on Tuesday, you think there'd be a real surge of energy. If we tailed off in the latter part of the game, I could maybe understand it, but we never started the game. And that's just so frustrating. If we really got up for the game, and as I said before, later on we're maybe hanging on a little bit, then you can perhaps expect that. But today we just never got really close to Queen of South. We're playing little balls round us too many times. We were always a half a step away from it, and when we had the ball, our use of the ball was quite poor. So listen, all elements of the game we weren't good enough. We weren't a million miles off Queen of the South, but we were enough that I think we can be honest enough and say, look, we didn't really deserve anything from today. If we'd have nicked one at the end, of course we'd have taken a point, but at this stage of the season you've got to be up for it. You've got to have a real challenge, and that's the most frustrating thing, Jonathan. I think if you go out, give it everything you've got in the tank, and that's maybe not good enough on the day, then fair enough. But we didn't really give it as much of a go as we should have done. So as I said, I'm a bit confused just now by it. I'm obviously very frustrated and disappointed, but I'm disappointed for the players because over the course of the season they've put so much into it, and today they picked the wrong day just to be way off it. And as I said, you can't be off it in this division because the opposition are always capable of winning the match.
Bob McHugh had a couple of sort of half chances. Gary Harkins had the free kick, but there wasn't much testing the Queen of the South goalkeeper today.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great save in the first half from Bob. I think he said it was foot and it just trickled past, and then he had a couple just hooked over the bar and got unlucky, and then one the keeper hit off him, and he had to go wide and he tried to square it for Birdie, and it was just a fraction out. Obviously Gary Harkins has got a great free kick, it's a terrific save for the goalkeeper, and then he's got a header in the last seconds really, and the keeper's got another great save. But Conor Brennan's had 2 or 3 good saves, and they've hit the post a couple of times, and that's the reason why I'm saying, yeah, of course, we had chances, not brilliant chances, but we had a couple of balls across the bottom. That's what I'm saying. Everyone was on their heels a little bit, no one gambling, no one anticipating. And if you're sharp, physically, mentally, you get on the end of these chances, even though it doesn't look like a glaring chance, but that's because we weren't anticipating, and that was, as I say, I thought that was the case pretty much right through the team. I thought defensively we were on our heels a little bit, done okay, but just okay. I thought midfield and up front, you know, we weren't alert, and you know, we as I said to you, I don't think we're going to be any excuses today. Sometimes you lose a game, you think, well, we deserve better, but today I don't think that was the case.
Still mathematically possible to finish in the top 4. What's your assessment of the
Yeah, I don't
chances?
think it's going to happen. I think we've taken the pressure right off Dundee United, Dunfermline, and to be fair to them, they've got about their business, they've done their jobs, and that's all they can do. I'm just disappointed in our performance today. You know, if it would have still been, huge underdogs even if we would have won today, but at least we would have kept up the challenge and kept up the fight and asked questions. And today, as I said, we handed initiative, I think, to the opponents, not just today, but in the league as well. So, as I said, it's a bit of a disappointing day for everybody, and I think we let the supporters down today. It's, as I said, it's not many occasions I think we've done that, but I think today was one of them.
Excellent, Jim. Thank you very much for your time and commiserations on the result today.
Thanks, Jonathan.